Welcome, creative and beautiful souls, to another episode of Mind of the Crochet Designer podcast. I want to thank you for being here today. A while back, I actually asked you on social media, on Instagram, what you would like me to record next. And the most votes were for the topic I'm going to discuss today. And this is going to be such a fun episode because we are going to do some design troubleshooting. Because we are going to answer the question, why isn't my design getting attention or sales? Why is nobody liking it? Why is nobody buying it? And we have to remember that there are so many reasons why a design is not getting any traction. And I want you to know that a lot of reasons don't have anything to do with you or your design because people can be busy. They might already have a gazillion whips and they really love your design, but they are like, well, not for me right now. I'm just going to put it in my Ravelry queue or maybe make it later and they all forget about it. You know how it goes. I mean, everyone's so busy all the time. And with so many options, crocheters, they can feel so overwhelmed. They have so much to choose from. So, today we are not going to focus on those reasons. We are going to look at the reasons that we can actually do something about and really do some troubleshooting. Why is my design not getting the attention or sales I'd like? I have created two categories and we'll take it from the top down. So from promotion all the way down to the design and the pattern creation, because there can be so many reasons why a pattern isn't selling. So the first category we are going to look at today is promotion and standing out. And if you joined the challenge to find your unique crochet design style, you already know that I'm a big fan of creating designs with a clear signature. And I feel there's some misconception regarding what this actually means because a lot of designers think that what I mean is that you create a very unique, never done before design, and they're like, how the hell am I going to create that? Everything has been done before, blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't have to be as heavy as that. What I mean by creating with a very clear signature is that when you release something, someone that sees your post can instantly recognize that this is from you. That's all it is. And this is a very useful way to stand out in the crowd because they recognize your posts, they recognize your designs, the photography, and they're like, well, I really loved the designs that this designer previously released, so I'm going to look out for new designs from them. And that's how it works. That's also how you create loyal customers because if you create with a very clear signature style, then customers already know what to expect from you. And if they loved something from you before, it will be a sure way that they will buy from you again. And this is how you actually build a business. Anyway, so my first tip is to create a design with a clear signature. And this is something that, if you haven't already developed that, is something that you can look at. So if your designs are unrecognizable, then it can be a reason why it's not getting any traction. Then the second reason why your design isn't getting any likes or attention or sales is, and I don't want to step on any toes here, but you know what I mean when I say if you're created a hat that's just a hat and it's not the best, it's not the best hat out there, there's nothing that's standing out. It's just a crochet hat with maybe a pom-pom on top. Then what's a reason for customers to buy your hat and not the hat of your competitor? So if you create uninspired a dime a dozen designs, then that could also be a reason why people aren't buying. And I want to clarify that simple does not mean boring or uninspired, because you can create the best hat out there that is simple, but it's amazing because it fits like a glove, or it's super warm and cozy, or it just looks amazing and toasty and comfortable and is perfect for that cold winter day. You know, when you create designs that are already made, that are already out there, you need to stand out in a different way. But whatever you do, if you go down that path of creating a design that's already been made, don't expect sales. Don't expect them to buy your design without them knowing why this is the best hat ever. You know, I hope this makes sense. So, without wanting to step on any toes, I hope that you know exactly what I mean when you offer a dime a dozen designs. And this brings me to the third reason why people won't buy. And it's tied up with the fourth, that you only post limited or fake uninspired pics, that they can't really see clearly what this design is all about. It might be too close cropped, it might be from too far away, it might be a simple flat lay, or maybe it has bad lighting, maybe it doesn't stand out because, and this is very good advice by the way, when you look at Revelry, your pictures need to stand out because that's the first thing people see. When they scroll on Revelry, the pictures there are super small. So, what you want is high quality pictures that have great lighting and that really stand out. So that's another thing that could keep people back from actually purchasing your pattern, because if they don't like what they see, they sure as hell won't buy your pattern to recreate it. And this is tied to the fourth reason why people won't buy, is if your pattern sales page has limited or confusing information. A confused person won't buy, it's fact. They might have questions, they might not bother to send you an email about it. They're like, well, if I don't know the gauge information or I don't know which yarn I need, then I don't know if this pattern is for me. Or they might loathe half double crochets, which a lot of people, they just don't like to make half double crochets, and they are unsure if there's half double crochets in your pattern. Then they're like, maybe not for me, I don't know, let's find something else. And I have way more on what you do want to put on your sales page and how to make sure there's nothing to stand in the way from people buying. If you go back to episode 11, I fleshed the whole sales page out. And if you subscribe to the newsletter, you get the secret link to my crochet design library, which is full of a lot of sales page examples from my own patterns that actually sell. So you have a very great example pattern sales page to work from. Then the last reason why people won't buy from the perspective of promotion and standing out is you have to rave on your design. If you've created a design and you don't absolutely love it, then you will not be able to speak as enthusiastically about your design that you should. You should be your design's biggest fan, because that energy really shows in your social media posts, in your emails, on your blog posts, on the Revelry page. It really shows if you are loving on your design. So this also means that you don't post only once and think that's the end of it and you will get 100 or 1,000 sales automatically. No, you should post about it daily. You should post about it even when it feels uncomfortable, even if you feel like, well, everyone should already know it by now. It doesn't matter, because as you know yourself, when you are scrolling on social media, when you are just looking around, people miss your posts. People scroll over them And this is also a reason why it's so important that your pictures are really standing out, that your visuals are really standing out, so it stops the scrolling. And people are actually like, whoa, this is amazing. And that's why the design and that you are loving on your design and really show that love in your sales page, how you show up on social media, how you do your pictures is so important. Let's do a quick recap because there's a lot here in category one. Why is your pattern not getting the sales or traction or attention you like? One is you create designs that don't stand out. It doesn't have a clear signature. Two, you create uninspired a dime a dozen designs. Three, you offer limited or fake uninspired pictures. There's limited or confusing information on your pattern sales page. And five, you only post about your design once and think that's the end of it. Let's go to category two. Let's dive deeper into your pattern and your design. So, category two is you have a bad quality pattern or design. And before we dive into this, I want you to know that where you might be at, I have been. So, this is all coming from my experience in my crochet design journey. And this is not like, oh, you suck. You don't know what you're doing. This is all coming from love. So, if you feel like, well, she's so negative, or what she even talking about, why she hating on my pattern, does she even know what she's talking about, etc., etc., please know that I've been where you might be now with no traction or pattern sales. So this only comes from my own experience and what I know works and what doesn't work. So let's go to category two, bad quality patterns or designs. And one of the reasons why someone isn't keen on buying your pattern, it can be quite a few things in terms of the quality of the pattern or design. It could be that someone followed your pattern before and really didn't like the quality, because people can like the design itself, but if they are unsure or they know that you offer bad quality patterns, they sure as hell won't burn themselves twice. Or they haven't made a pattern from you before and they are unsure if what you offer is high quality. And I have a very good tip on how to mitigate that and show off the quality of your patterns. One method of showing that quality off is to offer a pattern for free and make sure it's as good as your paid pattern. And I want you to know that my first 8 patterns, they were all free. So you shouldn't be embarrassed to only offer free patterns at first. Just make sure they are as good as paid patterns, because this is how you show off the quality of your work. And if you're like, well, I really don't want to offer free patterns for whatever reason, or I only have paid patterns, then what you also can do is to ask for reviews from people that already bought from you or from your testers and have them add it on Etsy or Ravelry. Because social proof is the best kind of proof. You can say, well, I only offer high quality patterns. You can maybe show them off. You can, what some people do is they print screen their patterns and they show them, oh, look how nice they look. And that's all okay, but it isn't really a testament to the quality of the actual words of the actual instructions. A second reason why your pattern isn't getting any traction, and this is also to do with that people have followed your pattern before and it isn't high quality, is actually more to do with making sure it is high quality. And I can honestly say I also did this. The first patterns I offered, and these are like the first 8 patterns, which were all free. I didn't have them tested because I was like, well, they are free and I just do this for fun, for my hobby, and I really don't want to get into the hassle of having them tested. So I won't have it tested. But this really, you cannot think, because that's how I thought. I was like, well, I have read over it 3 times. I haven't seen any errors. It all makes sense to me. So this is good enough. But really, it would surprise you what testers find in your instructions, or what might be very logical to you, but really illogical to someone else. Or with my first test, I got burned real big because I actually did the test, but I ignored test feedback because I was so arrogant. It is just embarrassing. I've grown so much, but back then I was so arrogant as a designer. I was like, I'm the designer, so I know better, and you all just don't know. I was so stuck up. I'm relieved that I've grown so much, but back then I ignored that test feedback and got burned like big time with that. So if you want to make sure that you have a high quality pattern, have it tested. If you're like, I really don't know how to get it tested, where to start, if you are part of my newsletter, you get the secret link to my crochet design library, which is full of so many resources to professionalize your crochet design journey. And it also has information on test feedback, what to ask your testers, etc. So awesome stuff. And one thing regarding the quality of the design is, some people, and I almost feel embarrassed on their behalf, they don't know the right side from the wrong side. And I actually have seen designers that have offered multiple patterns, have released multiple patterns. They actually photographed the wrong side. And I feel that's so painful, because how do you expect to teach others how to make your design, how to replicate it, if you don't know what is part of this stitch and part of that stitch? And if you want to teach others how to replicate your design, this is information you should by all means really know. It's the basics. And the last thing that a lot of new designers get hung up on, that really is part of the quality of your design work and how others replicate it, which is also how to annoy crocheters, which you don't want, is that you only design what you yourself can crochet without considering that someone else needs to be able to recreate it. Like odd gauge requirements, but also using yarn that is really hard to get, or that you really need to have a very specific gauge and tension throughout the pattern to make sure that a specific shape works out or a specific color change works out. And we have to remind ourselves, we design for us, but we write the instructions for others, and we really want them to have an amazing and relaxed time, because in the end, that's what crochet is all for. We want to give our customers an amazing experience. And so we have to keep that in mind. So if someone followed your pattern before and they were really bummed out by not being able to recreate the design like you yourself displayed it, please consider this as well. So that was it for this episode. I really enjoyed doing this episode because I really like to help you in your crochet design journey. And if you're like, well, I would really love to have more eyes, like a professional view on my pattern, my design, my promotion, then just shoot me an email. It's info@christinacrochetcoach.com. Info@christinacrochetcoach.com, because I love to keep the conversation going. Maybe we can do an interview, we can do a live hot seat, have a look at your pattern, have a look at your design, and see what's up, because that's something that I really enjoy doing. And if there are enough people that are like, well, I would love to do a session like that, just shoot me an email, let me know. I want to wish you a very happy, wonderful week, and talk to you next time on the Mind of the Crochet Designer podcast. Oh, and before I forget, if you have like an aha moment, or you're like, oh, now I finally know what I need to change, or this is something that I haven't ever considered, then also please share that in an email or as a review on a social media post, anything. Talk to you next time on the Mind of the Crochet Designer podcast. Bye bye.